Yay, I did it. I finally unlocked every single achievement in Elden Ring. I wish I didn't spend this entire past year playing only one game though. There's a lot of cool games that came out over the past year, and I just ended up missing out on all of them. But at least I got the achievement. Back when I was a kid and I had my PS2 and 3DS, I played video games for a reason that gamers cannot understand in this modern day and age. I played video games for something called fun. I know, very controversial, hot take, but that's why I played them. I was a broke little kid. I didn't have that much money. My parents didn't have that much money. I mentioned the PS2. I got the PS2 instead of the PS3 because it was cheaper. And during those times, whenever I finished a game, I had one of two options: go outside and play, or pester my parents to buy me another game. However, as I said, because of financial limitations, buying new games was something that happened every now and then and not something that happened often. So whenever I did get a new game, I tried to play it as much as I could to the fullest extent until eventually moving on to something else that caught my attention. And you know what? It was awesome. Sonic Heroes, Rayman Rabbids, Spider-Man the movie game. I had fun playing these things, and I had no sort of limitations or lockdowns on them. And this further continued on my 3DS. Pokemon White 2, Tomodachi Life, Sonic Game Collection. These are the type of things that I played all the time, and for no particular reason, just because it was fun. However, as I grew older, I wanted a new console, something that I could play with my friends, and that ended up being the Xbox One. Now, unlike all the previous consoles I'd ever played on, the Xbox One was a bit different. It had something called an achievement system. That GIF at the bottom with the satisfying sound, it made you feel like you accomplished something. It was awesome. But as a kid, as I got more and more into video games, I realized something. These games that I get every now and then, what if I could squeeze the content dry from these games as much as physically possible, so it didn't feel like I was wasting my parents' money, and thus birthed my addiction to achievement hunting. And I was achievement hunting some dumbass games back then. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie game, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Lego Marvel Superheroes. Okay, that one was kind of cool. But I tried to achievement hunt all of these because I wanted to make sure that I'm getting my money's worth, my value's worth. Because at that age, I didn't have that much money, and I understood the value of it. We fast forward to 2019, I now have a Nintendo Switch, and more importantly, a job. With this job, I could buy my own games, and that's what I did. However, I was still shackled down by that mindset of, I need to squeeze out every bit of content from this game. So games like Mario Odyssey and Pokemon Sword, I spent hours grinding them just so I could unlock every stupid little collectible. I actually did end up doing just about everything in Pokemon Sword, including that DLC, but for Mario Odyssey, I kind of gave up when it came to unlocking all those stupid costumes. Costumes I'd never put on anyways because I'd be done with the game and I'd drop the game like a hot rock. However, all that achievement hunting bullshit eventually ended. It ended in 3 parts. The first part was me playing a game that was very popular but I had never played before. And it was probably the reason a lot of you guys even bought a Switch. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild I played in 2023. For Breath of the Wild, I decided to change things up a little bit. Instead of using some dumbass YouTube guide, I want to go in there fully raw, naked, and just experience the game as is without any sort of outside input. Now keep in mind, for Breath of the Wild, the Nintendo Switch does not have an achievement system at all. So I did not have any sort of achievement list to follow for Breath of the Wild. I only had myself, and that's it. And basically, it felt amazing. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I felt like I was Link. I genuinely felt like I was Link. I felt like I had a sword. I felt like I had a horse. I felt like I was 410, exploring this vast map of Hyrule and just getting to see everything on my own without any sort of outsider input. It was genuinely magical. Stumbling across a rotting old shrine and exploring it as if it's the ancient temple it really is. Finding some random schmuck walking across the road and taking their side quest, that was awesome. It felt great. I feel like what made it better is the fact that I didn't have to force myself to unlock every single shrine or every single side quest. I actually even messed out on some of the bigger ones like Terrytown, but I have no regrets. I'm perfectly fine with that. It ended up being a better experience for me overall. I feel like I can best summarize it in just one simple sentence. My stay in Breath of the Wild did feel long, but it did not feel like it overstayed its welcome. That's why I can look back on it with fond memories. Unlike Part 2, GTA 5 was pretty similar to Breath of the Wild. Just a few differences, like, instead of a sword, you have a gun. Instead of a horse, you have a car. Instead of finding a shrine, you're finding a hooker. Playing through GTA 5 story, so much fun. Trevor, Michael, Franklin. What a bunch of goats. Overall, I'd say I like GTA 5 just as much as I did Breath of the Wild. Until I reached the very end. Once the credits had rolled and I was pushed into the post-game, something dawned on me. Remember, this game is not available on Switch. This game was available on PS5 and Xbox. So I played this on my Xbox Series S, which harnessed the power of the S and the X, allowing me to play with my ultimate gamer maximum potential until I saw that long ass achievement list and got depressed. And as I mentioned earlier, since Breath of the Wild does not have an achievement system, I never did any sort of achievement hunting for that game, and I was able to enjoy it properly. But for GTA 5, since I was playing that on my Xbox, which does have an achievement system, I ended up trying to grind all the achievements. And what do you know, very soon I began to hate this game. Genuinely despising this game. If I ever have to fly another helicopter under a bridge, so help me God. The fucking dumbass stunt jumps with the fucking ramps and the motorcycles and all that bullshit. Having to unlock all the animals for director mode, a mode that I never even touched. Slowly but surely, I was starting to lose my mind while trying to unlock all these dumbass achievements. And I started to question myself, why am I doing this? What is the point of this? Am I even having fun? Do I even exist? Why do I exist if I do exist? And that's when I knew I had to start putting this game down. I put my controller down, just stared in the mirror, just thinking about these questions going on in my brain. I needed help. I need to understand what I was doing and why I was doing it. And at my darkest moment, while I'm on my knees, shaking, unable to think, one man puts his hand on my shoulder. I look up, behind me, a bright light shining across my face. Who is this? It's Reggie. If it's not fun, why bother? And that's when I realized I need to put this game away. Just so I could feel like I could have at least a satisfying conclusion, I went ahead and got the Career Criminal achievement, which is attaining 100% game completion, which, fun fact, is actually less work than actually unlocking all of the achievements in this stupid game. Once finished, I put the controller down, I gave my goodbyes to Los Santos, and I moved on to another game. Since I was going through an open world phase at the time, I decided to go ahead and go to something I already knew. Something that I had played before. Something that I had mentioned earlier in this video. And that is Part 3. If GTA 5 broke my achievement hunting beliefs, Tears of the Kingdom solidified them. Once again, Tears of the Kingdom, little to no YouTube. Only if I was like uber stuck would I, use YouTube. But anyways, coming off GTA 5 and into Tears of the Kingdom, I felt like a big breath of fresh air. No more achievements, no more bullshit. I can actually enjoy the game. I know, right? That's crazy. Enjoying a video game in 2024. And basically, it was the same thing as Breath of the Wild. I liked it quite a bit. Not as much as Breath of the Wild, but I still enjoyed it. And I felt pretty great when I finished it. Just like Breath of the Wild, it did not overstay its welcome. It was there for a good long time. I enjoyed it. Once I finished it, I put it down, and I moved on from Hyrule. And I even found Terrytown this time. Now we're in 2026. I have left the achievement hunting game completely behind. Doesn't matter what console I'm playing on, I just don't do achievement hunting. Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, South Park's Butthole, Straftat, Repo, Pokemon Emerald. These are all games that I've played over the last year and I've enjoyed them so much because none of them have overstayed their welcome. None of them have been tying me down to achievement that I'm having to grind for hours and hours on end that I don't even find fun. I don't have those restrictions anymore. I don't have those locks on me anymore. I no longer have any strings, and now I'm free. And now look what's on the horizon this year, assuming they don't delay it. Coming to GTA 6, it feels like being separated from a friend for a long, long time. And maybe you had a bit of a falling out with that friend. But now that you're coming back together, you've both grown, both changed. And I think I'm ready to play it now. I think I'm ready for GTA 6. And I think it's going to be one of my favorite games I'll ever play. For one reason, I'm not going to try to achievement hunt that bitch. I'm just going to play it and enjoy it. Like how you're supposed to play a fucking video game, you stupid dick.